I'm telling you guys, this was like a tour de force from Fani Willis rival attorney Ashleigh Merchant, and the Fulton County DA should be running scared after this one, okay guys? So Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's rival Ashleigh Merchant scored a major win in Georgia Supreme Court after the justices granted an emergency motion for bond in Young Thug's YSL RICO trial. Now the court issued an order staying the 20-day jail sentence that Judge Ural Glanville imposed on Brian Steele, who is the attorney representing Young Thug, pending the resolution of Steele's appeal of Glanville's ruling holding him in criminal contempt. I know, it was a mouthful, and you should have seen it, guys. Ashleigh Merchant, who chairs the state's Criminal Defense Attorney Association, rushed to the courthouse to defend Steele after Glanville held Steele in contempt for refusing to reveal how he learned about a conversation that was between Judge Ural Glanville, prosecutors, and Kenneth Copeland, one of the state's star witnesses. So how did it get to a contempt ruling against Steele? Well, Steele and Glanville got into a very heated spat with one another in open court, starting with Steele confronting the judge about this alleged secret meeting in the judge's chambers on Monday morning. Needless to say, guys, Glanville's decision to put Steele behind bars stunned many lawyers. In fact, Ashleigh Merchant, she told the judge that about 20 to 25 other lawyers came with her to the courthouse to support Steele. On X, formerly Twitter, Georgia-based criminal defense attorney Andrew Fleischman commended Steele as a goddamn lawyer's lawyer, while attorney Scott Greenfield applauded for having the fortitude that every criminal defense lawyer should have. But this did not stop Glanville from pursuing his vendetta against the defense attorney. Hence, attorney Ashleigh Merchant had to go all the way up to the Georgia Supreme Court in order to get a writ of certiorari that basically means that Steele is not going to be getting any jail time until this is appealed. And for good reason too. I mean, seriously guys, what is happening in Fulton County, Georgia? I mean, this really deserves some serious investigation, guys. And this is exactly what we're going to do in today's video. So hang tight. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. So check this out. Here is a quick breakdown of the whole Judge Glanville meltdown and Ashleigh Merchant winning that bond for Brian Steele. Check this out.
Young Thug's lawyer Brian Steele was held in contempt and arrested in the courtroom. You're taking a look at some footage there of that entire scenario. Today, we're learning that Steele has been granted bond pending his appeal of the contempt order. And for more on that and all the fireworks in court this week, we're joined by legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff. Megan, always good to see you. You've been on top of the story from the beginning, and now it seems to be ramping up again. So what do we know today?
Yes, today there was a recusal motion brought against the judge who actually ordered Steele held in contempt of court. It wasn't specifically ordered over the contempt finding, but it was over this private meeting that led to the contempt finding. Brian Steele, Young Thug's lawyer, was held in contempt of court because he wouldn't tell the judge who told him about this meeting that the judge had Monday morning with the key witness and prosecutors, and the defense wasn't notified about it. So today, there was a 15-page recusal motion filed against the judge regarding this meeting. It had a few different reasons stated in there, but the judge promptly rejected it. But then the big news came this afternoon when the Georgia Supreme Court actually stepped in and gave Brian Steele bond pending his appeal of this contempt order. So he is not going to have to go report to jail Friday at 7 p.m. I think
now many are saying that not only is the judge corrupt, but he's just a bully and ignorant of the law. Experts are even piling on to say that he must be removed by a higher court. And we may see just that if this story continues the way it's going. Of course, we have Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis's rival Ashleigh Merchant to thank, if ever. Ashleigh Merchant, an attorney from Georgia, well known for bringing up the disqualification attempt against DA Fani Willis, just won a big case at the Georgia Supreme Court for Young Thug's lawyer in the ongoing YSL RICO trial. Basically, Ashleigh Merchant was able to get the Georgia Supreme Court to grant an emergency motion for bond for Brian Steele. So yeah, thanks to Ashleigh Merchant, the court decided to pause the 20-day jail sentence that Judge Ural Glanville handed down to Young Thug's attorney, Brian Steele, while they review his appeal. Now, just to refresh everyone's memory here, Ashleigh Merchant, who was defending Steele, previously caught everyone's attention when she challenged Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis over her handling of a case against former President Donald Trump. Now, the criminal defense attorney led the effort to disqualify Fani Willis from the election interference case as they uncovered that Fani Willis was in a secret relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade. Now, as you guys can probably remember, the whole affair sparked a few hectic days of court hearings that really kind of put the district attorney on the spot. Eventually, the judge decided that Fani Willis could stay on as a prosecutor, but the decision didn't feel right with Merchant and a few others, so they appealed it. And so now the Georgia Court of Appeals is set to look into this in October. Now, in the meantime, they've put the brakes on Donald Trump's case where he's accused of messing with the election in Georgia, a charge that he firmly denies. And so now Ashleigh Merchant has struck again with the Georgia Supreme Court, no less. The 8 justices who participated in the decision unanimously granted a writ of certiorari as to both the emergency motion and the appeal of the contempt order. They ruled that when the appeal of the contempt order is docketed in the Court of Appeals, the Court of Appeals is directed to transfer that appeal and record to the court, meaning Brian will be home with his family for Father's Day this weekend. And as Ashleigh Merchant put it, they appreciate how quickly and thoughtfully our appellate courts handled this unfortunate situation. But seriously, guys, Ashleigh Merchant certainly seems like a more effective lawyer than the judge is a judge in the Fulton County case. Now, if we could only get that kind of quick appeal for Donald Trump in his New York case, this situation has really rallied the Atlanta legal community, sparking intense discussions about how justice is administered in high-profile cases and challenging what many people see as judicial overreach. Ashleigh Merchant, who chairs the state's Criminal Defense Attorney Association, she rushed to the courthouse to defend Steele after Glanville held Steele in contempt for refusing to reveal how he learned about this ex parte meeting that the judge held in his chambers with prosecutors, a star witness, and of course the witness's counsel. This is something that he says he should have been privy to in the first place. More on that in just a little bit, guys, but we're gonna go ahead and dive in deep today. All I ask is that you guys take a second, hit the like button for the video if you appreciate the content. Also, consider subscribing to the channel and share this video. We totally appreciate it, guys. All right, so let's take a step back and let's see how reasonable this contempt order from Judge Glanville really is, right? So it started when Steele raised some very serious concerns that none of the defense lawyers were in the loop about a key meeting in the big RICO case involving Glanville, the prosecutors, and a key witness in this case. Now, he accused the judge and prosecutors of stepping out of bounds by hinting to a witness by the name of Lil Woody that he would be kept in jail until prosecution of the 28 co-defendants in the case had ended. Only 6 have had their trials so far, and it looks like this could drag on until 2025. In Georgia, judges aren't supposed to have private chats about case details without letting everyone involved know. These behind-the-scenes discussions are called ex parte communications, and to put it simply, the Georgia Code of Judicial Conduct generally prohibits ex parte communication in substantive matters. There are some exceptions, but even then, judges need to inform all the parties and let them respond. Steele wanted to know what happened in the meeting, but the judge quickly redirected the conversation back to how Steele found out about this meeting in the first place, to which Steele refused to tell him. Glanville asked, "How'd you get this information?" And Steele said that he's not telling the court. He later requested a mistrial over this. The conversation was a dead end from there, and Glanville ordered the bailiff to take Steele into custody. Now, according to Glanville, Steele got some information that you shouldn't have gotten, but according to Steele, the judge was not supposed to have this communication with a witness who's been sworn, referring to Copeland, who was sworn before that. Once Steele was removed from the courtroom by the court officers, Young Thug's other lawyer, Keith Adams, said that he didn't want to continue without him. As he was on his way out, Steele said to the room that they're removing him against his will and they're taking away his client's right to counsel. Judge Glanville hit back hard, sentencing him to 20 days behind bars, the maximum punishment in Georgia for criminal contempt. That move really shook up the Atlanta legal scene and angered many Atlanta lawyers. Ashleigh Merchant said that dozens of other lawyers also showed up in solidarity, agreeing that Glanville should have included defense counsel in the meeting or at least provided a transcript of what was said in his chambers. As she said about Steele's arrest, they're not okay with this. The Atlanta legal community is not going to let this happen to their brother, who was simply doing his job. Meanwhile, Glanville is trying to figure out who leaked information from the meeting. He's calling a hearing for June 25th where the Fulton County prosecutors who attended the ex parte meeting are to appear and show cause for why they should not be held in contempt for disclosing information from the ex parte conversation conversation to members of the defense counsel. I mean, seriously, guys, what could he be hiding here? At this point, defense attorney Doug Weinstein, representing DeMonte Kendrick in the YSL trial, has asked the judge to recuse himself and for the trial to be halted so another judge could decide if Glanville should step aside. He asked Glanville, "Aren't you interested in clearing up the cloud hanging over the case right now?" And guess what, guys? Glanville denied the request and warned Weinstein to be very careful about what he was asking for. Now, it really makes you wonder, what do they have in the water over there in Fulton County, huh? Now, as attorney Ashleigh Merchant pointed out, this is not how advocates should be treated. It's hard enough being a criminal defense attorney, and they shouldn't be threatened with jail. Now, upon arriving at the Fulton County Courthouse alongside 24 other Atlanta attorneys advocating for Steele, Merchant asked that Glanville recuse himself from Steele's contempt case. Merchant, who entered the courtroom to defend Steele, told Glanville that he couldn't threaten Steele with contempt for presenting a motion in good faith. She told the judge that the court had a duty to alert the defense that ex parte communications were made. Steele told Glanville earlier in the day that none of the defense team was aware that this was going on. As Ashleigh Merchant pointed out, Glanville's anger was moot because Steele should not have had to learn it from wherever he learned it. She then called on Glanville to recuse himself from the contempt proceedings, telling the judge, "Mr. Steele is entitled to all of the same due process rights that Mr. Williams and every other defendant in this courtroom is entitled to. He's entitled to those. One of those is to have a fair and neutral judge decide his case." Needless to say, Glanville's decision to put Steele behind bars stunned a lot of lawyers. Ashleigh Merchant told the judge that about 20 to 25 other lawyers came with her to the courthouse to support Steele. On X, formerly known as Twitter, Georgia-based criminal defense attorney Andrew Fleischman commended Steele as a goddamn lawyer's lawyer, while attorney Scott Greenfield applauded Steele for having the fortitude that every criminal defense lawyer should have. Conservative legal analyst Phil Holloway commented that Brian Steele is one of the most reputable lawyers you will ever find. Judges can't just jail lawyers for doing their jobs. Judges can't have secret meetings with DAs either. Now remember, guys, justice is about transparency and fairness, not about playing power games in the courtroom. So big ups and thanks to Ashleigh Merchant for standing up for those principles. Now, if you guys enjoyed this breakdown and you want more nitty-gritty insights into what's really happening in the legal world, don't forget to hit the like button for the video, subscribe to the channel, tap that notification bell icon. Totally appreciate you guys. And drop a comment down below and let me know what you guys think about this Fulton County judge and attorney Ashleigh Merchant's arguments. Let me know what you think. And speaking of accountability and truth, make sure you check out our other video where we go into Dr. Fauci's recent congressional testimony. Now, there's quite a stir about him getting caught in a lie about what really happened with COVID-19 and the White House coordinated pandemic response. So I'll leave a link for you guys on that for that video in the description down below. Go ahead and click on that video right now. You do not want to miss that. Yeah, if you haven't already, I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.